Are you guys ready to get out of the Matrix?
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
The Texas court system works, and I trust the Texas court system will work in this case.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pissed Off Parent Show. Real quick intro, introduction of what we do here, and then, of course, introducing my special guest. We talk about everything in the family of the anti-family course, the family of the anti-family course. I gotta say that a different way, but we talk about things like child support, parental alienation, custodial interference, child support, divorce, breaking up, all kinds of stuff. And some of it just boils down to the stuff that just pisses me off, and that's equal shared parenting, or the opposite of equal shared parenting is one of the many things that piss me off. I did a show today, just kind of off the cuff. We're on a certification program that I found. And I again did a live show earlier today, and you can go check it out when you get a second. But we'll talk about it a little bit more here. And it's called let's see here, Up to Parents from UpToParents.org, and it's a free parenting certification class. I initially said, well, it's a piece of crap, or just a basic kind of BS. Blah blah blah, and the reason I came on and did the show earlier today was because I had to eat my words, because I did a certification class 10 plus years ago when I was going through my little fun time with my ex, and it was what I thought, what I kind of assumed this one would be. But then I said, you know what, I like to investigate data and jump into it. So I popped it open and went through it, and I was pleasantly surprised. There's a lot of good information there. Initially, from my opinion, we'll hear more about that here in a bit from our guest, but it was something that I thought that a lot of parents should take if you're getting ready to get divorced or separated, or you're dealing with custody issues, and it's just another kind of arrow in the quiver, tool in the toolbox. I got those backwards earlier today on the show. They did correct that, thankfully. But I guess we can just kind of jump right into it. And I want you to listen. You got Chuck C here, or Big C. Is it Big C or Chuck C or CC DeVille?
I answer by all of them.
Everything. Okay. I just never know how. All that. Okay. So we got the Big C on here, and not the high C, but the Big C. He saw the video, or saw the initial Facebook post and or the video, and said, I'm gonna do it. He contacted me back and talked to me about his experience, and I'm like, you know what, this would be a good show, because I can sit here all day and talk about anecdotal, my experience being out of the whole thing for so long, but Chuck he's going through it right now, and I'm like, you know what, people need to see and hear someone that's actually been through this or dealing with it, and what their experiences were going through that certification program, so it can kind of give you an idea of what you'll work with. So I'll shut up here, turn it over to the Big C, and do a quick introduction for those that may not know who you are. You are actually the face of that little video we did about a week ago. If you get a chance to go out to YouTube or wherever the heck it's at, it's a fun little video that he did. And anyway, tell us about yourself, what kind of, Reader's Digest of what you're going through, and then see where it goes.
So first of all, Dwayne, thank you for having me on.
My pleasure.
Anytime you post content, there's lots of different platforms out there for us to follow. but you are an educational and an informative platform. And lots of times you'll focus on resources that I'm not saying folks that are indigent, but folks that are less resource healthy can acquire. So you do a lot of great work with getting out materials that people that don't have the resources to to go out and acquire expensive like classes.
$800 lawyer.
Yeah, and I'll get into an hour sometimes, but yeah, and I just wanted to give people a heads up. My name's Charlie. I have 7 kids. I go by Big C. I have experienced 1,247 days before I saw my children for the first time, and the lead up into that, as it pertains to this subject matter, I had attended a 16-week intensive batterers intervention program. I had never assaulted anyone. I had never committed a crime, never broke a law, but they ordered me 16 weeks of batterers intervention program, a heavy, intensive 16-week program. As it pertains to specifically this, I was also ordered to do co-parenting classes from the court. So I got another 2-day seminar for 16 hours, sitting a multiple weekend and doing that. Also, I took a curriculum about hope for families. So some of that stuff content is free. And there's also children in between. And I'll talk about some of the different opportunities out there for parents. This curriculum is the only one I have found to not charge a single penny.
Oh, wow.
The curriculum is, as Dwayne was mentioning earlier, this is acknowledged by the bar itself, the AAA. And so you start digging into the website, over 50,000 parents have utilized it, which is just fantastic. And as you're going through the course, a little bit about myself. I'm in a high conflict case. So parenting is a really important thing for me to learn, because as much as I can do my part, I have to be able to show I'm trying. I am doing. I am getting done. I am doing the work, the due diligence, reading, learning. So then when I get in a situation where I go to reunification therapy, which I've had 100 engagements with 5 different reunification therapists over the course of 4 years, and I've never missed one. I can say I'm armed with all of this educational material to learn how to kind of go back and forth. So kind of before I just kind of spew all over everyone, Dwayne, am I kind of on the right track here?
Oh yeah, no, you're definitely it. I'm trying. I'm just.
No, you're good. I'm just making. Sometimes I talk too much, so.
All good.
So
all
just
good.
to continue, what Dwayne was saying was there's a lot of informative stuff in the class. You get to do exercises, and you get to actually go through what your children's strengths are. You get to learn about different things your children struggle with. And the overarching theme of this particular curriculum is that how can we de-escalate the conflict for the best needs of the child? And there's actually a judge on here who presides, and there's an executive director, and all these people that are geared towards helping de-escalate. And I think this is a fantastic course, Dwayne, and thank you for recommending it to all of us out there in the parenting community. I took a lot of value out of this. It's the only free resource I've been able to encounter. And I never would have known about that without Pissed Off Parent and without you getting it out there. So thank you.
That's awesome. Sorry, I'm getting youngest son.
Yeah, you're fine.
Life of dealing with all that fun stuff. So, all right. So you got the link, and let me go ahead and pop it up here. Let me get to the original site so everyone can see it here. So when you get there, you're met with this: are you a parent who's separated, divorced, or never married? And when you were going through it, it offered people that were separated, divorced, or never married, and it also had a kind of another section for parents thinking about getting divorced or separated or never married. So you had that as well. I guess kind of talk about your, once you signed up and you start, I mean, it does ask for, email address, password, because it is secure. And then also when you come back to print out your certificate or get additional information, your information's already there. But it didn't ask for overtly invasive information. Didn't want to know your social security number, none of that stuff. It was all, free, no credit card information, none of that.
Yeah. So right away, about a minute or two, just to kind of navigate where the curriculum was. If you look at the 5, 6, pop, you will see curriculum. You need to go into start your use when it talks about in your certificate, and where you scroll down below for the average user out there. These are powerful, accredited certificates, different bodies of people that operate within the courts. The ADA. Every lawyer needs AFPC, AFPM. These are the courts recognize. These is powerful accreditation. They're saying, hey, this course can apply to any parent in a court, going through family custody, or confidence, or high confidence. So I think you're already off to if you start with the start use on the word, and you type in really personal email address. You can handle that. I mean, if you can't, then you can create a separate email account. So, I mean, but you put in your email address, you get right in there, and you start the course, and it goes right into the intro video, and it's got, I think, 11 or 12 exercises, or 11 or 12 lessons, and then I think there's A, B, C, and D. The 4 exercises within the curriculum, and it's all educational. It's about how can I work with my children that's experiencing the loss of a parent? How can I help de-escalate conflict situations? Like any parent that's going through any type of a divorce, I don't know how possibly this could hurt you. And just so you guys can understand the optics from a court professional, it's hard to manipulate someone educating themselves and bettering themselves to present as a father, predominantly, I'll leave that where it lies.
Right.
Predominantly a dad saying, Your Honor, I found this educational course. I took it. I think this, I mean, I could take that as that demonstrates me to be fit, willing, and able. I'm learning about my child. I'm learning about different experts within the field. I'm learning about material. Judges are involved in the same curriculum. So, like, I mean, you have a judge literally teaching you through the lesson. That is a sitting and presiding judge. That's powerful. I mean, he's trying to help people. And that's, I'm going to leave that where it lies. But my experience with the helping part I'm going to leave that where it lies. That's not my typical experience.
Right.
So this got to be, sorry, go ahead.
So, I mean, when you were going through, like, what type of things did it talk about, in there? I mean, I quickly ran through it, so I kind of have a high level overview of what it is, but something that you're in the thick of it right now.
Right.
Like, what was it? I mean, what were you thinking? Oh, this is how I can use this information. I mean, you're going to have this is how I can use it in my particular case. But did you learn something that you didn't know before, just like individually?
I actually learned quite a bit.
Okay.
I found that there's a lot. Okay, so like I said earlier in my intro, I've done 5 different educational programs, and this was the only one that I found free. So what I learned specifically with this specific material that's different, really where it honed in on the de-escalation of conflict with co-parenting, and it's understanding your child, and the lesson really brings it together with how to de-escalate and what is best for your child. Can you stomach that extra medical bill, which is really not up to you anyway?
Right,
Can you stomach that? Not send the nastygram to mom. Leave mom alone. You got the nastygram from mom. What's best for the kid? Is going at the mom back at her? Is that what's best for Susie, Johnny, and Ricky? Or do I just slide out and say, hey, I'm going to ignore this and I'm going to continue on my parenting journey for the best interest of your child? Right. So really it's about de-escalating conflict. And that's what I think they do such a great job, up to parents. It's up to you to put your child first. Up to parents. Up to you to choose to de-escalate conflict. And in the 12 different lesson materials, I believe it's 12. And then they do exercises. So like I found 12 or 13.
There's quite a bit of stuff in here. Let me pull it up here.
I actually have a snippet somewhere.
There's like a whole there's a lot of good information here, and then there's all this stuff in here. Oh, this is the section on interested in saving your marriage, but it has other sections. But these are let's see, 6 lessons, but that's just the one part of it.
XIV, so it goes all the way to doing it the right way, and I'll just walk you guys through it really quickly.
Okay.
So we talk about noticing the child's needs. I think it's really important that some of your children may need different things at different times.
Mhm.
And it talks about exercises. Try to look at it from your child's perspective. Try to understand what they're thinking. And lots of times we get so wrapped up of, oh, my ex-wife this or oh, my ex-wife that. If you've already showing the court, I can't focus on my child, and that's going to be a problem going forward. So the main starts right off with thinking about it with your children's hat on. How is my child going to accept that I want peace in my life? Mom and dad, can you guys stop the conflict so I can have peace? And as we move your way through lessons 3 and 4, we want to establish a valuable and lifelong relationship with them.
Yeah, I did see that they were talking about this isn't just to get through your court battle, but this is lifelong stuff of how to interact with your child.
Right. So there's actually in the actual exercise on the left, and it is lifelong, and it's an eternal bond. You have an eternal bond to your child,
Mhm.
and so when you first open it up on the side, when you start going through the curriculum, you have 14 sections of commitments. So it wasn't 12; it's actually 14. And the exercise A through D, I've walked you guys through the front half order of it, and that next quadrant, you're then going to move into having good memories, complimenting your children.
Oh, yeah.
These are really cool, like little tips that, hey, if I try this with my kid, if I incorporate this, it's gonna be a value added. So just as you work your way through showing the children they can be proud of their family. Mommy and daddy aren't together, but my daddy takes me to soccer. Mommy and daddy aren't together, but daddy doesn't complain about the soccer program or doesn't complain about spending the extra money for me to do extra activities and not say, well, you're getting child support, mom, so keep your mouth shut and you get your money. Thinking like, oh, maybe Ricky really wants to do that activity. Maybe I can't rely on my co-parent. Let me put the needs of my child first.
Right.
And the frustrating thing for me during this journey is I'm on day 1,391. I've only been able to see my children once in person, so I never
Right.
got a chance. So it's like I'm on the sidelines, and this the reason why I bring that up. This shows the courts again. Court, I'm trying to
Right.
build a relationship with my children. I'm educating myself to build a relationship with my children. Can you acknowledge that I'm educating myself? I'm doing co-parenting classes. If the other person is not co-parenting and they're doing alienating tactics and patterns, that's a different subject for a different day. You are empowering yourself. You are educating yourself. And like Billy Madison says, he's got his tackling fuel. We're not tackling, but we need that fuel to fuel us.
Right.
Not in a negative way, not in a destructive way, in an educational and informative way for your child. And I'm sorry for talking my hands so much. I just get passionate. I get passionate talking
Well, you're
about
from up north, got that little Italian thing going on. It's all good. Well, I actually I'm wanting to ask a million questions, but one thing, and again, you're officially divorced or
I've been divorced since 2019.
okay.
My divorce decree gave me 50-50 custody and no child support and no alimony. It was permanently relinquished of alimony and child support. And I had, unfortunately, a bad day in court where they changed the circumstance, and they didn't have any cause, and they eliminated my access to my children. So that's kind of how I got started. They saw a dad not paying. That didn't comprehend that divorce decree was not comprehending to a judge, even though a circuit court judge signed off a divorce decree.
Right.
Dad makes 6 figures, mom makes 0. That doesn't help the state property. So we're going to make sure that dad goes and sits over here. He's going to pay now, and until he pays, he's not going to have access.
Right.
So
and I think we all know the Title 4D, cash for kids and
Right.
all that stuff. One thing I did want to ask though, just kind of hit me, was that section there. It talks about finishing your grieving, a key to life after divorce. Did you get a chance to dive into that one?
So the actual lessons within the divorced parents, there's multiple. I think there's different ones you can take. I did the divorced parents one.
Uh-huh.
I'm on V. I'm working through that. But when it talked about grieving, this particular curriculum, as it scrolls down through XIV, it does mention a little bit grieving. That the screen you're on, Dwayne, is a separate from the actual.
There's additional stuff. Yeah, there. I'm trying
Those are
to.
additional materials, but so this is the neat thing as we talk about this on the screen. Can you scroll down to where you are, Dwayne, on the grieving part, just real quick?
Yeah.
where you're looking at, and is it finishing your grieving? So I think, as you asked me, your question was, how did I handle this? Was that your question?
Yeah. How? I mean, did it give you any additional, I don't know, closure, or I mean, I don't know, when you were kind of dealing with those
So
or answering those questions, did it
so
help?
some parents have the resources to obtain um, that have health insurance that they can obtain. I would recommend, as it pertains to grieving, and
Mhm.
just being as transparent with you as I can, Dwayne.
Yeah.
I found an EMDR therapist that specifically worked with me overcoming that trauma, and I have a highly trained EMDR professional that I meet with. I've met with her 125 times, so I've met with her for the last 125 weeks every week.
Wow.
Also, to help me grieve, I found a mindset coach, and his name is Sean Pearson. He works within a platform called Dad to Dad, and he's helping me shift my mind from overcoming the grieving to preparing myself psychologically, because the grieving piece, which is hard to even say this, um, you're grieving children that are alive.
Right.
That's that that's deep. That's deep. To have to grieve 7 living children that are actually alive, and I don't mean to do this every time I go on the air, but for me, this is what it's about. And
Yeah, that's what you're doing it for. Yeah.
but this is it's in my heart, it's in my soul, it's in my mind, and it actually caused me to open up to other families, and not to take away from Pissed Off Parent, but to do free sorry
Oh no.
as
Please.
a non-attorney, to try to offer a small piece of, I know you're struggling. I talked to a dad out of Utah a couple weeks ago, and he hadn't seen his child in a few weeks, and I felt I embraced his pain, but
Right.
there's a lot of people out there that they don't understand how bad this can get. So when you talk about grieving, I hope I answered your question. I don't know if I did or not, but
Well, as you were kind of did it like offer you a little more insight to help you continue on, or the kind of the journey to get over get over the divorce, but kind of the help, I guess, with the whole divorce process. Did you get anything from that, or have you dove into that part of it really?
So I I can be difficult to work with. I can be challenging to work with.
No worries.
In addition to talking a lot.
Right? Yeah. All good.
But yeah. So I've started when I saw my children, March 17th of 2023, for the first time in 1,247 days. I looked at everyone on my team and I said, the healing journey begins. The grieving is over, and I don't want to get emotional on the air, but when I saw them, yeah, that's
It
pretty
hit.
cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's
It hits you pretty deep when it's been 4 years. It hits you pretty deep, and you never give up, and you stay humble, and you stay low key for them. I mean, you may not agree with the court order, you may not agree with the consent order, you may not agree with the custody situation, you may not agree with all the alienating patterns or fact that may or may not be evident. You may not agree with the different experts' opinions,
right.
but you got to keep yourself in the game, because if
That's
you don't, you're going to be in jail. You're going to be
6 foot under. Yeah.
Oh well, seriously, I don't challenge. I've learned, lay down your sphere and let God take care of.
Oh yeah.
And so, and just for dads out there, and I don't mean to, I think this directly relates. These classes are a path to your kids. And I
Right.
don't know if I can explain this to you guys out there, but dads, literally 4 years, one visit, 122 or 25, sorry, it's a lot of numbers, 125 therapy sessions, 108 reunification sessions, 5 different therapists, reunification. This is the path. This is all we have right now. Texas
Right.
is doing a phenomenal job with just legislation. A couple other states have passed. I think Florida, and then what was the other state?
Missouri.
Missouri. Just
You
passed.
yelled it. You don't remember Missouri and
Yeah.
Florida?
We
You
got
yelled it.
Florida and Missouri have 50-50. Woo!
There
So,
we go.
that aside, just legislation's coming, but you have to do your due diligence. You have
Right.
to take initiative, and I'll stop preaching to the choir here. Sorry, but I don't know if
No.
that answered your question.
Yeah, no, it did. I'm sitting there trying to. I was hoping that I could pull that video up because I'm sure people are wondering what the heck I'm talking about, and I was like, I was hoping I could be quick enough to pull that in there, but I got so many things out there. Oh boy, it's way too many videos in the old thing there. Yeah, I can't find it. I wish I could.
I think it might be on my page, not too far down.
Yeah, well, I was actually I was checking the original out there, but I
Facebook
cannot.
didn't seem to like it. Facebook didn't seem to like it that much.
Well, yeah, we did one of those, and they
Our audience
said it
did.
was false information,
Yeah.
and I'm like, because it was supposed to relate to some court case, and I'm like, it had nothing. It was it was a meme. Come on, people,
Your
have some
audience
fun.
loved it. Your audience
Yeah,
loved it.
it
The Facebook. Well, I'll leave that alone. I don't.
it did, yeah, it did quite well. So, I mean, I guess we did talk about a little bit off air is, and one of my hugest pet peeves, why I've walked away a couple times. I feel like I'm that eternal victim. Like I'm not, the South Park Cartman. Screw you guys, I'm going home, and then I come back a couple days later. It's just, this stuff is it's not something I can just walk away from. But there's things that really piss me off is that I provide all these free tools and just do my disclaimer. I'm definitely not an attorney. Wouldn't want to be one. And also, yeah, not an attorney. And this uptoparents.org. Before yesterday, today, I knew nothing about them. So I'm not affiliated with them. I don't know anyone on their board. I don't know nothing about them. I just happened to get this thing, and I'm like, this thing's pretty cool. And then it all happened from there. So if anyone's thinking, oh yeah, pissed off parents getting paid. Yeah, trust me, not getting any paybacks. But anyway, so okay, well, going into my pet peeve is that all this free information is available for you to go out there and learn and do things to put yourself into a better position to see your kids, to continue on with your life, and then people don't do it. That's my hugest gripe, and I was actually showing you some numbers on the page that showed what gets likes. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. What gets likes and what doesn't. My educational material stays down near at the bottom. My dumb memes, millions. I mean, you saw the numbers, 2 million. 2 million for those out there in TV land.
Those are not bots. Those are not inflated numbers. That I saw it. The reach is there. I literally saw it.
Yeah.
2 million. I think it was a child support one. I don't.
Yeah, it was a child support joke, but yeah. But I guess from your perspective, what do you think it takes for? And I'm going to pick on dads. There's going to be ladies out there that happens with too. Yeah, it does. But when you're talking about a national 85-15 split, we're talking about mostly dads here. What does it take for dads to get in their kids' lives? What do they have to go through in a separation or in our anti-family court system? What do they have to do in order to get to see their kids? And I think you can speak with some authority on this thing because you're over 1,000 days without seeing them.
Yeah. So I think for anyone listening right now, if you're a father, just close your mind off with all of your biases and just stop. If you guys can stay with me, just stop thinking for a second. We have a powerful narrative to overcome when we start.
Yep.
That's difficult for dads to process. The bias and prejudice is real, but we are not victims. We are survivors. Dads do, men build, we work. You have to compartmentalize. What is my goal? Is my goal to get back at my ex? I will tell you, you will lose every time. Is my goal to be with my children? I'm going to say this as diplomatically correct as I can because I'm in ongoing litigation.
Right.
I may or may not have struggled with different priorities and how I aligned them.
Mm-hmm.
The difference to having a path to my children is checking my ego, which is really hard. It's getting the right people involved with leading you to here's where the information is, the right people to say, how are you thinking about this? To truly separate whatever animosity you had with your ex, that needs to go away. And this specific course covers 14 different topics about how to park that animosity. And I don't mean to say how to get in your children's lives, but you will also you can cite your case number at the end and incorporate that and say, listen, I didn't really have a good understanding of what this was about. They are the lords. We are the peasants.
Yeah.
And we don't like that.
It's facts.
the current environment we are in. So when I go to court 81 times, let me repeat that. I've been to court 81 times. I've been on countless different people trust me to come on because it's real. This is a real case.
Mhm.
It's a breathable case. Dwayne has seen this with his own eyes. So with that aside, you have to park your animosity. You have to park, in some cases, hatred, and you have to leave it to God, and you're there for a path to your kids. And this is a big step for some dads. I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to do reunification. Mom's alienating. We are not going to prosecute. I'm going to leave the sex alone in this, but overwhelmingly, we are not in a prosecuting environment when it comes to family court. That is a reality, guys. If you want a path to your child, prosecution is not something that's going to happen to the opposite sex. It's to the point where it could potentially be construed as immunity. It is that obvious.
Right.
Immunity, dad, go to work and pay. That's all the narrative that is. Dad, go to work and pay. Here's your 4 days a month. We're going to maximize child support to the most to profit for the state. Now, here's where this gets lesson learned. Information value added. You're starting with 4 days. You hope you start with 4 days.
Yeah.
Really, if you're in Missouri and Florida now, you're saying, let me get a good attorney or let me be really good pro se because I think 50-50 now is presumption. However, the reality of that, it's going to take a while to change that bias in those judges.
Right.
So I don't know if that helped with your question.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the 50-50, while it's going to be, and there's language in there, you're going to see an uptick in domestic violence. You're going to see an uptick in just the nonsense, and I have data on that from other states that have done it. It's not 50-50 and it's over because there's going to be a lot more to it. But what it boils down to is that, speaking again mostly to the men here, you're going to have to abandon every bit of logic, every bit of not integrity. Oh God, almost manliness in order to see your kids. You're going to have to eat garbage. I mean, on the surface, and I realize this, on the surface, someone saying that you have to take a parenting class, so I assume most people that would ever watch something like this, is the most absurd, ridiculous thing in the world. It's an insult. You're telling me, a parent, that I have to take a class? But these are the things that you will need to do to push that needle forward. And I wanted to show what you get at the end of it. So let me throw, and I put in just kind of basic information. And again, this is a worldwide certification program. Offer. Let's see here. Is it on the main? No, it's not. It's.
And while you go, I think 250,000 parents, right at the very top, didn't it say?
Yeah.
250,000 parents. Isn't it the second sentence? I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 250,000 parents.
Save their money, make their own decisions, and create their better futures. From what I've seen,
this is free. This is free. Again, this is free. This is free.
Free to you.
Not really an excuse at that point. There's no excuse. It's free.
Yeah, that's.
I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be rude.
Right. So on the certificate part of it, so when you get there, and mine's pretty well done. The screen before this, you select, your country, state, province, whatever applies to you, and then you get down to the count. In my case, it's county, whatever province or whatever your state has for your area. It has a drop down for that because it does get recognized. You get a certified number. So they can follow up with that, and then you put in the name of your court. You can put your cause number in, like Big C there did, and then you create your certificate, and then it generates, and you print that out and take that in, and this basically it certifies this information. There's your code to get, and it verifies the authenticity, so they can do that. So it's not just a BS, haha, I took a course thing. Free. It's recognized by the the ABA, the AFCC, and the APFM. Like it or not, this is something that I don't want to say you have to do, but it's something I would encourage you to do to push that needle forward. If you're beginning the process, you're in the middle of it, at the end, whatever, and this is something that you need to look at, I would definitely do it. And they talk about divorcing, they talk about never married. And you would select your what applies to you, and you run through it, and it's a pretty straightforward program.
Dwayne, I'm sorry, but I have to add on something. I apologize.
Yeah.
I love the way you address your audience always, but as a dad going through this, I'm going to tell every dad out there that follows your material, this is a must do. You're cheating yourself and you're cheating your child. And I'm not being a bully to you all. I'm just telling you right now, facts. You are cheating yourself and you are cheating your child. And I'm not being rude. I'm just saying you have a free course that took a couple hours for me. Again, I've done, and I had to write them down because I've been through it for 4 years, so I don't remember all of them. But I did in-person co-parenting class for 2 days. I did Hope for Families. They have some good stuff. I did Children in Between. It's CIBO, and they do have a high conflict parenting class. I don't have any affiliations to any of these organizations, but they have an 8-hour course for $129. This stuff costs money. This one, the only one that I know of that doesn't cost anything. So this is a must-have. You're going to learn something. And again, there's 14 different lessons that you get out of this and 4 exercises free. So I'll stop, but I'm passionate about this course. I took a lot out of it, and I think instant value added. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh no! I mean, I would like to.
I'm passionate.
What I want to do is grab my Kurgan Highlander sword and just bash people in the head and make them do this stuff. I mean, if I could be, if I could do what I wanted to do, that's what I would want to do. Because what I see are these parents that get put in these situations and then they don't do anything about it, and then they're shocked when they lose their kids or they
have less than advantageous rulings. Their rulings are never advantageous. They're always losing. And they're like, but it's not fair. Hold on. You guys didn't park the narrative and bias before you walk in. It's not going to be fair. You have to take yourself and your emotions. You're not a victim. You're going to be a survivor.
Right.
Stay the course, or you will be a victim. You want to play the victim game, leave Dwayne alone. I mean, Dwayne's a problem solver, and I'm not trying to be rude. But for dads out there watching this, he's never told me this. I don't know. I don't know what his inbox looks like. If you're here to be a victim, Dwayne's not the guy. I'm not the guy, because I do get dads, and I'm not throwing numbers out there, but I've helped dads all across the country and in different countries. And I will tell you this, the victim, oh man, it's okay, I'll listen, but hold on now. When we have problem-solving recommendations, yeah, I'll see what I can do, man. I don't know, dude. Dude, I get it. Everyone's going through depression. I get it. It's a tough thing to overcome. I'm still dealing with some personal stuff that I'll keep to myself. But I'll just tell you this, like, we're not in the victim business. We're in the problem-solving business. Sorry, I'm trying to circumvent here.
No, we're men. And you've described one of the reasons why I walk away and I basically don't respond to my inbox pretty much altogether is after dealing with thousands of askholes, ASKHOLE.
How do I click the link on this class? It's right up top. Asshole. What are we asking? The link is right there.
Yeah. It is. Deborah popped a link up here or a thing here. No, actually, it's not. It's actually for all over the entire world. This free thing here, uptoparents.org. I'll put it in the thing again here, uptoparents.org. It is a free parenting class that it's actually, it's broken for married, divorcing, never married, and there's a couple other little splinters and a bunch of other stuff that you can look at as well. And at the end of it, after you do learn some things, you get a certificate that is, the American Bar Association, the AFCC, which is the Association of Family and Constellation Courts, and the APFM, the Academy of Professional Family Mediators. They've all endorsed this. You take this into court, and here, let me pop up what it's going to look like. You're going to pop it up. And when you're at the end of it, you'll type in your province, state, county, all whatever applies to your state, or area of the country or the world rather. I'm sorry, it's all. I should have stopped at the one because it gives you all of those options, and then it shows that you've completed it, and the courts can actually hit this code, go here, and confirm that you went through it. And you have to go through it. You can't just breeze through it. You have to take the course. So it's not, one of those you can fast forward through the lessons and do all that. But it teaches you, I wish I kind of would have snapped some of the questions and what they did, but it as Big C was pointing out, it teaches you de-escalation methods. And the one, I'm sure you're wanting to bring it up here, but if not, I will. Is the this is something where your ex-spouse or your ex, soon-to-be ex, whatever, you can't deal with them. They hate your guts, you hate their guts, but you got to do it for the benefit of your children. You can send them this link and go, look, I know you hate my guts. We got to do what's right for the kids. Here's a link, talks about parenting. Figure it out. However you want to send that email. Probably shouldn't be the exact quote that you use. This gives them, makes them think about stuff, hopefully, differently. They're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not. I mean, again, if he or she is a complete asshat, nothing's going to change their mind. But two things out of that. One, you've thrown the olive branch, and Big C, you did bring it up. When you're in court, you can say, "Here, Your Honor, I took this course. I did send it to my ex. She refused to do it. You do whatever you want to with that information." Now, is this a silver bullet? No. Is this going to work 100% of the time? No, but it's gotta work at least more than zero. And as guys and as parents, we've got to be moving that needle forward in everything we do. I'm assuming, again, if everyone's watching this show and knows me at all, you guys are chess players, not checkers. You have to think the end game, long game. How do I get? And hopefully that end game is how do I get my kids?
And just to remind the parents, Dwayne, this actually in exercise number 10 goes into the co-parenting plan. So it talks about what a co-parenting path looks like, and in an informative way. It even helps you develop. And a lot of the parents that may not be aware of this, it gives you free guides and resources to different links and materials. So then any person with logic, and I'm not being disrespectful, you may say, hey, maybe let me Google what a parenting plan looks like. And this, before you even do that, it's gonna tell you like, hey, here's what co-parenting plan was. And just, there was a gentleman, can I address one thing in the comments?
Yeah, oh yeah, pop it up, yeah.
There's a gentleman by the name of David Thompson, and again, neither one of us are attorneys. This is not legal advice. Brotherhood versus Trayman in Virginia in 1978 says I can help unlicensed laymen, but I'm not citing that right now because I'm not an attorney. That being said, my question is, why don't we sue outside of family court?
Here we go.
It doesn't sit well. Actually, Griswold versus Connecticut in 1965, when his rights were impeded to be fit, willing, and able to his child, he did sue civilly, and he did win. It's Griswold versus Connecticut in 1965. And don't get me going on case law, and don't get me going with the Constitution, because we will go back to Meyer versus Nebraska in 1923. I had a case that cited Stanley versus Illinois, 1972, and it got appealed within my state in 2019, where you're taking parents away when they're fit, willing, and able. This is a piece of the puzzle to say, hey, I'm fit. I know what co-parenting looks like. Hey, I took a class. I know what de-escalating looks like. Hey, but understand, this is not a checkbox. No.
Right.
Learn the content. Learn the material. Do the exercises, because a judge is going to ask you, okay, Mr. So-and-so, Mr. Big C, what did you learn when you took that course? And if you said, Okay. Right there, you just eliminated that. That could have been a nice little puzzle piece. Your Honor, I'd really like those 4 days a month. I want 50-50, but this is why I think 4 days is okay. And then you build off that, guys. Build off that momentum. And I hate to continue to bring this up. 4 years, 1 visit.
Right.
That's one in-person visit. Sorry. I've had visits through the phone here and there, but they haven't really been, they haven't really
not the same.
I mean, but anyway.
It's chess. Yeah, it's chess, not checkers. Yeah. I mean, if we want to sue, we want to do this, it's going to take, a billion of us, across the country, across the world to, rise up and affect change. That's not going to happen. Let's just deal in the real world, which is where we have to live in. If you go into your court case and you have, say, this document and you have all your ducks in a row, chances are better than not that you're going to hopefully come out of there with more than what you had. Certainly not less than what you had. And again, these are not silver bullet-y things like I'm going to teach you these 5 steps and you're going to go in there and decimate the other person or whatever. The judges are gods in the courtroom. That's just the way it is. We have 50 plus years of them orchestrating how to get us to, or how we got to where we're at today. There've been 50 plus years of them doing their stuff. It's not there was no one smart enough to walk in there and do one thing. I can spend hours telling you, giving you names of people that have tried and are in jail, 6 foot under, you name it. I'm what I'm here trying to do is one, provide a free resource. Two, with Big C, he actually did the work. You've heard his story, what he's dealing with. And hopefully we understand. None of this is fair. None of it is fair. If you want it fair, you go down to Dallas. Down to Dallas around September, and you go. That's the only fair you're going to get, which is the big county fair. If you don't get the joke, but that's where you're going to get fair. You're not going to get fair in court. It's not going to happen. Trying to provide some resources. Again, the pissedoffparent.com website is chock full of 100% free resources for you to use to help your case. It's not going to win your case. It's going to help you. It's going to take you doing everything you can. Big C here, over 1,000 days of not having it. He took the course. He learned something from it. He's endorsing it. He's saying, "Do this." That's what we're trying to do. That's the kind of the overarching thing. And for people that say they want to see their kids, that are going to do whatever they can, here you go.
And just to add in words that may not fall within the spectrum of him report, if you guys are familiar at all with risk mitigation, mitigate your risk, mitigate your loss. The more you educate yourself, it's only going to empower you with learning to use your words wisely. Like, Your Honor, I learned how to de-escalate conflict. Just so you know, when you say just something, now you may not get to talk to the courts, but some of you that may not have the resources to have an attorney, Your Honor, respectfully before the court today, I'm here to present that I took a course that I learned about de-escalating conflict. That right there is going to have a judge's attention. If you go in there and say my ex sucks, she's doing everything to interfere, they're going to turn the volume down. You're going to walk out of there with, your head between your tail. So risk mitigation, minimize your risk, mitigate your loss. So I don't know if we have any other comments, Dwayne.
Yeah, well, looks like Deborah had a question. And again, this is who initiated this. As far as the online course, it used to be. Let me pull it up here so we can all see it real quick. There was other this proudtobeparents.org and whileweheal.org. They, I guess, merged to become this group, or that's offering. It's actually a retired Indiana family court judge, and then a psychologist, I think it was, that have kind of put this together. I don't know the behind the scenes of this one. To be honest, I haven't investigated it, but
this is really good content. It's really good content.
Yeah. So and then as far as saving dad some time and money, this will hopefully kind of, as you're going through it, hopefully you're gleaning the little pearls of wisdom from it, because it does have good information. When the ex sends you a nasty text, what do you do? In there it talks about that. How do you set up a good co-parenting plan? It talks about different things there. So when you're in those real world situations, you may think about it and handle it just a smidge bit differently than firing off a nasty text to her, which I get, been there, done that. But other things, just kind of plug in the Pissed Off Parent Preparing for Divorce site also, and I have that link in here. But this is stuff you can go to if you're getting ready to go through it, going through it, or have gone through it. But this is stuff, the settlement guide, different ideas, links, and stuff to get information. The regrets after signing a custody agreement. This isn't a growing list. So if you find or of something that you went through, like Big C here and me, we had two different divorce situations. He may have went through something. He's like, man, if I would have known this, I would have been ahead of the game. And have him send that to me, and I'm like, oh, hey, cool, and I'll add it in there, give you credit. It's all good. A couple times that's happened. But regrets after signing a custody agreement, there's a list there, and then things I wish I knew before getting divorce custody, and there's a laundry list, ever-growing list there. I always pick on the car insurance, because this is the one that does bite a lot of people. Big C, your kid, your 7 children, or I assume, they're all under driving age.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Knowing a little bit more about your situation, I have a funny feeling I know what's going to happen when your kids turn 16, and who's going to pay for what and all that. But let's pretend in another type of divorce, separation, whatever. You both separate, divorce, and then the kids when they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you're not even thinking about this, but they turn 16 and they go, "Mom, Dad, I want to buy a car." Well, whose title does the car sit in? Who's going to pay the insurance? Whose name's going to get the insurance? And by the way, that has legal consequences because, I mean, I can talk personally on this, but if let's pretend Big C and I are divorced now, this is gonna get weird. He's not my type, no offense.
It's
but
your fault, dude. It's your fault.
yeah,
You were
but
you were toxic. You were toxic.
I was a toxic one, yeah. So, but we say that Big C is he's gonna own the car, or he's gonna have the title of the car, and he's gonna maintain the insurance. We're both gonna split it. It's under his name. Well, our little child, our love spawn, is over at my house. I decide to go out and get hammered and wreck the car, or I do it to be a jerk or whatever. Guess who gets nailed for it? Big C does. Or you guys put the money in to buy the car. Let's say you guys go halvesies on the car, but it gets titled in Big C's name. Well, Big C can decide one day, I'm going to sell it because it's his asset. It's titled in his name. So those are things to think about. And this is an ever-growing list of things that people should be thinking about. Now, attorneys won't talk to you about this because guess what? When little Johnny turns 16 and you guys start talking about that,
Or litigation.
well, where do you go? You go back to litigation. More money, more money, more money.
More money, more
Exactly.
court fees.
And
yeah.
guys and girls, like it or not, you're all big boys and girls now. It's adult time. You can't say I didn't know or I'm confused. I mean, you can give your grandkids' inheritance away to lawyers and all that stuff. Knock yourself out.
And
I don't want that for you.
and not
Learn
to get
this crap.
not to get into a constitutional discussion with you, Dwayne, but
Uh-huh.
in the eyes of the law, when that child is 16, in the eyes of the law, they're considered
Uh-huh.
an adult. So for you to be, I mean, depending on
16?
well, 16, I don't know, but they're found liable of committing heinous criminal acts as legally
Crimes.
liable as adults. So if they're considered adults, then in that spectrum, I'm just saying you get into gray areas where you're being forced from a judge to pay for something that, in the eyes of the law, I'm not the law guy here, but they're overstepping their authority once again because that's a maternal paternal that's a call right there, and they have to litigate something that they're going to force you to pay for a car for a minor.
Well, not force you. No, I wasn't saying force.
Yeah.
But little Johnny gets to be 16, and we decide we're gonna, who's gonna buy the car, who's gonna have it titled in the name. Let's say you and I go, you know what? I'll pay half of it, you buy the other half, but
Right.
it gets titled in your name.
Yeah.
And then and then one day you see me with my new boyfriend, and you get mad. You sell the car.
I'm not paying for it no more.
Yeah, I mean, these are the things that, again, it's adult time. It's time to adult, and people have to think about this stuff even when their kids are 3, 4, and 5.
Can I give a personal example?
I hope not around the family that we were talking about earlier, but yeah, go ahead.
I think there's
But
a
us
time.
getting married,
I think there's a time and a place, but you were toxic in the relationship. So I just wanted
I was a toxic one. I definitely,
all.
I was a know-it-all. I was a mean
I
person.
just wanted to assert that one more time.
Oh yeah, get that on the record. All my exes who no longer live in Texas will agree with you. Yeah.
And just so you guys know, on the platform, I've learned through the different platforms that keeping things light and keeping things humor, it keeps Dwayne's ability to keep going. He's had to step back a few times, and you guys really have to try to understand that it's a tough space to operate in, because not many people want to fix and help. They just want to profiteer, and I don't want to say mercenary, but there's a lot of mercenaries out there, and Dwayne's a helper. So just maybe make a joke with him once in a while. Tell him he's toxic in his inbox once in a while, or tell him the new Transformers they sold out of him, so he can't have it. Or just things light, because honestly, it's stressful enough. It's tough enough out there. So when the pissed off parent comes out with all these innovative things on their website to help you think proactively what else could be coming down the road, check it out. Check out the links. Look. Don't just let me go right in his inbox. I don't know what happens or doesn't, but there are resources that are privy to you, because a lot of parents eventually figure it out. And the ones that don't, those resources are out there. So, if you don't educate yourself, you're not a victim. I hate to say that, but I mean,
yeah. Oh, that's the way. Oh, that's. I mean, like it or not. I mean, there's people have gone through trauma. People are going through trauma. Yeah. I get it totally, but my inbox is filled with fly out to my state to do this and do that on your own dime, and I want you to hand walk me through this, or they dump all kind. yeah, and I try to work that. My whole thing is, in just 30 seconds of my personal story is I've been married 3 times, divorced twice, so third time is a charm, and I went through this about a decade. That's when it started. These resources, none of this stuff was out there a decade ago. So what I did is I made Pissed Off Parent after some other challenges, which I probably won't get into with other groups, organizations, and all that. Decided to do it kind of on my own, and I put everything out there, and I made it all free because why? Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it cost me a couple $1,000s a year. Not going to blow smoke. It cost me a couple $1,000s a year to maintain all this stuff, but I do it as a service for nothing back, really. I'm not getting a dime, and nor do I want one. I just want to make that known too. I don't want anyone's money, don't want donations, and I got no beef with a couple number of organizations that do get donations because they're in a different area, they're doing other things, and I totally get it. Mine's just more, here's information, it's at the individual level to help you out, and then I try to make it as self-help as possible because I want to see. I would probably take on a personal item, but if I saw that person day after day after day grinding, getting stuff done, and they have like one question after they've looked at all the materials or done whatever, that's one thing. But 99% of the time I don't get that. So
I'll share this as a firsthand example. A lot of times with the dads out there that you will do a class and we'll give information, and I want to get my story out there. Going through this for as long as I did, it's not about getting your story out there. And this is hard to accept that. It's about trying to work through your trauma, which it's hard to do this stuff, guys, but we're focusing on the content of this live is about the coursework. But I would just say that don't worry so much about getting your story out. Just work through the materials and tools and resources. And, if you have a question, hey, Dwayne, I took this class. Hey, Dwayne, I learned A, B, C, and D. I don't really understand E. Can you kind of help me? Take that initiative to take the tool. Don't just, Dwayne, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Where's the link? It doesn't work. Where's it in Word format? How come I can't get it in Excel? We're not. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, that's the thing is, and I'm putting a link to the Dad Talk Today support group in the notes here for everybody.
Great resource. Great
free resource that Eric Carroll over at Dad Talk Today has for everybody. Is you can go there, you can ask questions, you can talk to other people, share what's going on, get help, God forbid, offer help. And it's a community of people going through similar things, and you can ask questions and meet like-minded people that can help you. You're going to get more responses there, better responses than what I can give individual. I just don't have the time to individually, handle everyone's case and deal with that. I just don't. But yeah, there's a lot of.
And as a plug too, Dwayne, I think Eric's doing individual time.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we can plug that. Did I see?
Oh yeah, no, definitely plug that.
Substack form where he's taking individual time to maybe get a dad to let him talk and get their voice out. Maybe just kind of plug that if you think.
Yeah, no, here we go. I'm actually putting that in the thing here. So Dad Talk Today, Eric Carroll's organization. He actually, this is on Substack. If you ever wanted to share your story on a show live, you go there, find a time slot. I think it's a half-hour window or whatever it is, and you can come on the show and tell your story.
Yeah.
There you go.
Great resource. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's a way to get out, but I tell everybody is everyone's story is personal and the most important one to them. Unfortunately, as we all know, it's important to you, but usually no one else. And that's just the unfortunate realities of the way people are. I wish it was different, but think about it, yourself, anyone watching, anyone not watching. Some people, as soon as they find out it's not about for them, they're gone off to the next thing, but they're the same ones that are like, well, why can't we all get together to do this? Well, you have your answer.
So I think there's, not to get biblical, but I think there's the parable about teaching someone how to fish. Or feeding them. So I think if you can just take some of Dwayne's content and get your own fishing pole, and he's going to show you how to reel it in.
I'll show you.
He can't keep feeding you. He can't feed you all. So.
At the end of the day, I'm a dad. Name me. And
we are dad. Yeah, we're dads.
We're all dads here. Okay, so let's think about this out loud. for just a second. Name a dad that's going to baby you. What are we known for? I'm not known for. No dad that I know of, anyway, is known for taking you by your hand
Spoon
and
feeding.
you know.
You're not spoon feeding. We're not doing
Yeah,
that.
That's just not something a dad would do, and I'm a dad. And that's just how I live my life. I'm not going to do that with anybody. What I am going to do is go, here are the tools, knock yourself out. My daddy, he woke up and he said, all right, son, here's a paint bucket, here's a brush, there's a wall. When I get home tonight, it better be painted.
There was no, my homework got in the way. I didn't, I
Oh,
was
no.
tired, I was sick, I played
I'm
a video.
busy. Yeah.
You had a task, and it
Right.
better be done. Because if
Yeah.
I don't know about your dad, but I don't think I can disclose on this show if it wasn't done.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
our
no.
laws have changed to limit and impede that style of parenting, and I do agree. I do agree that doesn't work today. So,
Yeah.
but back then I made sure it was done. I made sure my dad
people,
were done.
yeah, people need to understand. Yeah, we're all dads, and that's, at least my understanding, is how dads operate. Is we will show you what needs to be done, but you're going to do the work, and that's how you build character and how you come. So that's what men are. And yeah, as far as the dad thing, I mean, I'm 51 years old now. I still wake up in a cold sweat to the sound of my dad's belt coming off. My dad's been dead for 13 years now.
Yeah.
I still wake up to that. And I'm not scared of him. I'm not traumatized. I don't hate him for. No, he did the things that a dad should be doing to make a productive member of society. And if you think it's wrong, this old fart is sitting on here at 7:25 at night talking to another old fart about how to help you guys out with no personal benefit out of it, while I can smell my wife's cooking downstairs.
Right.
That smells really good. I
Yeah.
could be playing video games or looking at boobies or looking at her boobies or whatever. I'm not. I'm up here talking to y'all. Get off your dead asses and learn something and do something.
And because Dwayne's cooking smells so good, I'll leave him with this. I don't want to know about the booby part, just the cooking part. But that aside, guys, I just want you to ask to just give me 30 seconds of your time. Spin around and you're sitting in my chair for these next 30 seconds. You've seen your children once in 1,391 days. You've experienced ungodly, atrocious things that happened to you. Did you hear me say I'm a victim? Previously, I used to act that way, and you could see me on other media at times acting very, I'll say, immature. But I've overcome that. I've overcome that adversity, and at 8:26 at night, we're going to let the nice young man go to his nice cooking downstairs. So, and we're still helping. We're still helping. I've seen them once in 4 years. Once. And all the things I've done, we're not victims. So God bless you all. Thank you for the opportunity to come on, sir. It is up to parents. The class is free. Please go take it. Get off your butts. Follow Pissed Off Parent. Check his material out. Like, share, subscribe. Pissed Off Parent, final words are for you, sir.
I think you said it all beautifully there. I can't believe I'm a toxic one in this relationship. Oh well, okay, I'll deal with it. Anyway, I hope you all again learned something, had a little bit of fun. I get what you guys are going through. You just got to keep, again, it's chess, not checkers. Get out there, get armed, get spiritually armed, get informationally armed, and go out there and do the right thing. So with that, I'm gonna shut her down. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Talk to y'all later.
to touch. You got the power.